Hi guys, Debbie here. Welcome to my channel or welcome back, and welcome to today's video, which is the last in my Debbie Does December series. I've been uploading every other day, the odd days of the month throughout December, well, one day, but pretty much consistently through the whole month, and it's been a lot of fun. I've done a lot of festive content, which I've absolutely had a blast doing, and I've done a lot of collabs, and this one to end the series is a collab. So really excited to do another collab with my friend Steph, or Notyourbasicsteph. We've collabed twice before, we've done face-off challenges before, but we're going to do something different today. So for today's video, we're going to be putting a spin on a video idea that was going the rounds about a year ago, which was if I could only keep 10 eyeshadow palettes. And I think this was started by Annette, my friend Annette from Annette's Makeup Corner, and I filmed it in collaboration with Betty Jean, Beautbean. So I'll have both of their channels and my previous video linked down below. But what we're going to do in this one is revamp the idea a little bit, and it's going to be if I could only keep 10 palettes that I got in 2020. So that makes it a lot harder because then I can't use some of my all-time favourites and I've got to rethink it. And the only caveat around it is that I have to have tried these palettes, so, or know the formula at least. I'm not going to put something in here that I've recently acquired and not had a chance to test out. So they're brands I know and formulas I know. That was my kind of rules around it. I don't know what Steph will do. But without further ado, let's hop straight into the video. I'm going to show you all my picks of the eyeshadow palettes from 2020. If I could only keep 10, what would they be? Okay guys, so before I hop into showing you the palettes, I just want to say a few words about my collaborator Steph. As I say, we've collabed twice before, and I'll leave her channel and those videos linked for you. But I found Steph, I think she commented on one of my videos, and then I kind of coached her a little bit in all things YouTube because it's very daunting when you start, and we just developed a friendship from there. And she's from the UK, as am I, and has a colourful makeup aesthetic, probably more colourful than me these days. I've kind of got a lot more into neutrals just recently than perhaps she does, but her looks are always flawlessly blended, so bright and beautiful, and she is a champion for all indie brands that are UK, and I get to know about brands that I'd never considered by following her both on Instagram and seeing what she's sharing there, and also watching her channel. She's got a very nice easygoing style, and she's very step by step with what she does with her eye looks. So if you're looking to create beautiful, colourful looks, then I think you'll really enjoy Steph's channel. So let's just jump now into the 10 palettes that I've chosen if I could only keep 10 palettes that I got in 2020. Now what I will say before I do this, they're not necessarily my favourites I've tried in the year, because what I would need to do, if I could only keep 10, I've got to be able to do all the sorts of looks that scream Debbie. You know, I need some red, I need some green, I need some black and a white and some beautiful shimmers, etc. So I want to make sure I can cover all bases. So as I say, if I was to choose, say, my 10 favourite palettes, it would be a different video, although there are some of my favourites in here. Let's just kick it off and I'll show you what I've chosen. Okay, to start us off, I thought I'd talk about the one I'm wearing currently, and it's this one. It's the Escape Pod by Kaleidos Makeup. So why is this one here? Well, Kaleidos is one of my favourite brands, as you might know if you've been following me for a while, and they are the only brands that send me PR, and they'll always be close to my heart for that. But that's not why I love their shadows so much. They've just got some of the most incredible products. I mean, the highlight I'm wearing now is the Space Age Prophecy, the multi-chrome highlight, and I'm wearing this palette on my eyes right now, as I say. And these purples and pinks on this row are just beautiful. But where they excel more than anything else is their shimmers. They're just highly reflective, just stunning shimmers. This whole row of shimmers is gorgeous. And I think there's a lot you can do with this palette, from neutral to bright and colourful. But it particularly excels for pinks and purple looks, and yeah, that's what I decided to play with right now and create with this palette. They did have two other palettes. I didn't choose those because one of them's neutral, the Sashimi City, and the Lunar Lavender's half neutral, kind of cool tone and purple. So I thought this one's got a lot more options, and I knew I had to have a Kaleidos palette in my 10. Next up is another one of my absolute favourite brands, if you know me at all, and it's Melt. And there's going to be 2 Melt palettes in my 10 actually, so that shows you a lot about how much I rate their palettes. But this is the She's in Parties. I love a vampy kind of dark eye look, and to wing out my shadows but make it all out of like a shadow wing, and this palette is perfect for that. I love the black and sort of aubergine tones that are in here, the plumminess of it, and then it goes from deep and dark right through to light. There's so much you can do with this palette, and it's just such a beautiful formula. It's probably one of the best ever from Melt, I think, that I've tried. So I couldn't part with this one. I know I would use it a lot in the winter more so, and so that had to be here. Another palette that I would have to have is a green palette, and I was thinking long and hard which green palette would I choose. And I haven't got too many monochromatic green palettes, but then I thought about this one, and it's an indie brand. It's Lucky Bunny Cosmetics, Australian indie brand. I've got 3 of their palettes now, and this is my favourite of the 3. And that's the colours inside, and it's such a good palette because you've got not only just the green monochromatic shades, but you've got some interest in here. So you've got a plummy purpley shade that you can darken up with and totally change the vibe of the look with. You've got a deep green, you've got paler greens, you've got shimmers, you've got mattes, but all in different tones. I think it's got all of your green needs covered, and it's a really good formula. I've had problems using this shade just on its own, but if you use it as a deepening up shade, then it doesn't go patchy then, but the greens are just so vivid, so beautiful, and so blendable in this palette. And I really want to get the red one of these as well, because they really are nice palettes. Nice and slim, easy to store, and just a really good overall palette to have in my 10. Right, next up is a German indie brand. There's quite a lot of indie brands in this countdown, and it makes me realise how much I love my indie makeup when I do things like this. But this is a German indie brand, Lethal Cosmetics, of course. They need no introduction these days. They're getting a really big name for themselves, I think, and for good reason. But this one's the After Dark palette. You might know if you've been around these parts before, I'm not a huge fan of pastel shadows. My only real love for pastel shadows is the Shroud Cosmetics Creepy Cute. But if I had to choose another one, I can't choose the Shroud Cosmetics Creepy Cute because I didn't buy it in 2020. Then this would be my palette of choice because it's got deeper pastels. There's a bit more vibrancy in them, but you can make them pastel. There's a shade that you can sort of dilute them down with, but you've got some beautiful duochromes in here. You've got just some really gorgeous shades, and again, a lot of the more purpley kind of tones that I enjoy. So really, really love this palette. I love that you can pop out the shades and change them around for other shades, but I think it's pretty much perfect as it is. I did lots of looks with this in the summer in 2020, and I'd happily take this one through to 2021 and use it a lot more. Now I've got some colourful shadows there. I've got some deep and kind of plummy shadows, but I don't have any neon brights, and I was thinking I would need some neons, like for that pop of colour on the lid or a neon in a corner. I do love neons, but they're hard to find in a good formula, and I didn't try very many in 2020. But then this palette came to mind, and I'm probably the only person who talks about this brand that I've seen, but I love them. It's Barry M, which is a drugstore UK brand. Get them in Superdrug or Boots here in the UK. And this one was their Neon Brights palette. And I had such a good time with this palette. You can blend these neons, which is very hard to find. You just don't find that. Like most neons are kind of very dusty and they just brush away and they won't stick unless you use kind of something like the NYX Jumbo Pencil in Milk to stick them down to and kind of make them more vibrant. But this goes on super pigmented on the eyes, and I made a kind of vibrant look that went from light to dark across my lids, and yeah, really, really enjoyed it, like a rainbow look. So it's rainbow neon shades in a palette in a really, really good formula. Still available, and as I say, highly recommend it. Next up, I'd need some red. There's no way I could go through a whole year of eyeshadow and not wear red. And one of my favourite palettes that has red in it was this one, and it's by VE Cosmetics, another UK indie brand, and this is their Vixen palette. and it's just gorgeous. It's got reds and oranges, which I enjoy both shades. It's got silvers, it's got golds, you've got a white in there. This whole row is really interesting. You can make sunset kind of vibes out of it. But this shade is, this metallic red here is just incredible, and it's the reason I bought the palette, and I just love it. You can make a real fiery eye look with this palette. Okay, we've got 4 left, and I'm kind of saving some of my favourites till last, I think. So this year I think has been the year for this brand, BH Cosmetics. Now I have bought the Sweet Shop palettes, but I'm not going to show them here because I've not tried them yet. So my favourite that I tried from them last year was the Drop Dead Gorgeous Full On Crazy palette. And this one's here because I haven't got much blue in my little countdown here. Don't wear blue too often. But the blues in here, the metallic blue and the sort of more powder blue there, are gorgeous. There's some reds in here. There's a really incredible black in here. There's a silver. And I've got a few more rainbow shades to play with, but it ticks a lot of bases. I knew I would need a really good red matte to round out my little collection here, and the one in here is really, really good. Okay, next up is one of my favourite brands of all time, and it's Nomad Cosmetics, and this is my favourite of their palettes. I know a lot of people love the Tokyo Harajuku, and I do as well, but I bought that in 2019. My favourite I got in 2020 was this one, the Orient Express. I love the packaging, how it's all like spongy velvet. It's just class, it's beautiful. The reason it's here is because I would need some really good neutrals, and I'd love a shimmery gold shade, and this one's got 2 really incredible golds in there. So you've got this shade here, Venice, which is kind of a green to gold duochrome. You've also got a true gold in the corner there, Istanbul. Got another red, you've got some more blues, but then there's a lot of neutral tones. So this would be a go-to for me as my neutral palette because I love their formula. The shimmers are great. They do some satins, which I really enjoy a satin shade. I need to use this palette way more, and yeah, just really enjoy it. So I think I could get a lot of scope for different looks with having this one in my 10. Okay, I've got 2 palettes left to show you. I wonder if you can guess what the final 2 will be. You probably won't guess this one because I'm not sure that you know I have it. But it's by Melt, and it's from the Beetlejuice collection. I've got the full PR kit. There's a whole story around that why I haven't shown it yet, but I'm going to be doing a video on that very soon. But I've chosen out of there the Recently Deceased palette. I thought about having the Waiting Room in there, but I've got a lot of reds and dark shades already, and I thought I haven't got any of those mustardy yellows, and I've not got too many purples. So I thought this one was perfect, and this is the only one in the countdown I've not yet tried, but I feel comfortable to have it here because I know how much I enjoy Melt shadows. This, of course, is the palette. I don't think there can be anyone that follows makeup that's not seen this collection going around on YouTube. I've not touched it, I've not swatched it, I've done nothing with it, but I know I would get a lot of use out of these mustardy tones and kind of this acid yellow and the beautiful purples that are in here as well. So I just wanted a bit more vibrancy in my collection of 10 palettes, and this gives me 2 different options. You know, you've got the purple row and you've got the green yellow row, so it brings some yellowy greens in, and as I say, some really pretty purples. Okay, we've got 1 palette left, and having wanted this palette forever and ever, I couldn't not have it in my 10 that I would take forward into 2021 that I bought in 2020. And it's this one. It's the Pat McGrath Mothership 5 Bronze Seduction palette. I've just recently done a video with this palette and I just enjoyed it so much. I think Pat McGrath's formula, the shimmers from the Blitz Astral kind of shades are just otherworldly. They're just incredible. This, of course, is the palette. Absolutely stunning. These Blitz Astral shades here, particularly that red shade, just absolutely gorgeous. And I love this plummy kind of aubergine matte as well. Had so much of a good time playing with this. I've only used it once, but I wouldn't want to part with this one, so it would have to be there. Just for these really glittery special shades. This is a going out palette. This would be the one I'd reach for if we ever get to leave the house and do anything in 2021. Fingers crossed, guys. So that's it. They're my 10 palettes that I would pick, that I bought or received, because I got PR with the Kaleidos one, but all the rest I bought myself. If I could only keep 10 palettes from 2020, this would be the ones. I think I could do every look that I want to. I've got the reds, greens, purples, I've got beautiful shimmers, I've got microfine glittery shimmers, I've got inner corner shades, I've got a decent black, a white. I think I've got everything I need to create all the looks that I love to do. This has been a lot of fun. I hope you've enjoyed it. It'd be interesting to know what palettes you have that you would definitely, if you bought them in 2020, you'd want to keep into 2021. If you could only keep a few, I'd love to know. Just give me one palette that you definitely would want to keep, and that would be there. Drop that down in the comments for me. As I say, this was a collab, so I'll link everything that you need for Steph's channel, her video and her channel down in my description. Once you've watched this, please hop over and check her out. As I say, she's going to have a whole bunch of different palettes to me, I'm sure, because she's got a lot of different ones in her collection to the palettes I have, so I can't wait to watch and see what she's chosen. I know she said it was very difficult for her to do, but she thinks she's nailed her choices, so really excited to see. But just thank you so much for watching. If you popped over from Steph's channel, hi, welcome. I'm Debbie, I'm 52. I like to play with colourful makeup, neutral makeup. Age has no barrier to makeup in my eyes, and I just like to be creative with it and just have fun with it. That's what my channel is all about. And I would just love to have you along for the ride. But hope you've enjoyed the video, as I say, and hope you're going to have a lovely night tonight. This is going up on New Year's Eve, so hopefully you'll have time to watch it before New Year's Eve strikes and we say goodbye to this horrible year and hopefully to a better one for next year. But take care of yourselves, guys. Have a lovely day or night, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.